We'll get it. We're just gonna have to wing it. Okay.
Wow, we go back a long ways then. He was worked so much, he was barely a part of mine. Okay.
But this is,
Yeah, I had to go there to see him. Give me that.
How's it going?
I wouldn't get that part of it.
Good job.
Hey, how you doing? If you want to.
If you were game, I didn't want to.
No. No, just for the record, if you want to say something, it's fine.
Thanks.
Yep. Good morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner, if you'll please bow your heads and join me for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Our next public workshop will be next Tuesday, July 2nd, 10:30 a.m. in this room. And our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, July 3rd, also in this room at 10:30. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner, we also have that resolution for Tony Kio. Did we want to do that at the front because his wife and his sister are here?
Yes, I'd like to do that after we roll call, put it on
Okay.
the record.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Here.
Ms. Frenchco. Mr. Malloy.
Here. Okay, as Commissioner Cantalasa alluded to, Commissioner, I'll allow you the privilege.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys want to come on up. He was such an instrumental part.
Commissioner, can you do it in the front so the cameras can see, the people can see?
You want me to do it over there?
That or right in front of the stage here.
Um, one around. With us today, we have Tony Kio's wife and sister. Tony was such a fundamental part of what we do here in Trumbull County. His compassion for seniors and for his community was second to none. He was always there to help. I told Marnie when, before Direction Home was Direction Home, it was Area Agency on Aging. And we were short on elderly affairs and a lot of the senior levy programs. And Tony was always there to help and always there to work with us and collaborate. And that's what it's all about. So on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we do have a resolution honoring Mr. Tony Kio. And whereas it is with great pride that the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners joins family and friends in commemorating the memory of Anthony Tony Kio. And whereas Tony, former COO of Direction Home of Eastern Ohio, made tremendous difference in the lives of so many people and families. Tony was a strong advocate of the aged and of all those in need in our region. Whenever one needed help, he was there. His genuine concern for others touched so many of us. He impacted our lives through his example and tireless work in Trumbull County. Excuse me. And whereas Tony leaves behind his loving wife, Marnie, I hope I'm going to get through this, son Benjamin, daughter Gabriella, and sister Roseanne. Family was extremely important to Tony, and he shared so many wonderful times with them. Tony's commitment to and deep concern for all with whom he came in contact leaves a legacy. Didn't know I would do this. We should all strive to emulate. His death created a void that will never be filled. He made the world a better place. I'm sorry.
You're doing great.
And our families go back a long ways. Whereas, talk to anyone who knew Tony or any of the multitude of people he helped, and they will tell you what a wonderful and genuinely caring person he was. And I'm sure so many join me in saying, can't say it. Rest in peace. You will be greatly missed. Board of Trumbull County Commissioners, Denny Malloy, Mauro Cantala Mesa, Nikki Frenchco. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. We are one big family here in Trumbull County. Item number 1.
Item number 1 is to dispense with reading the minutes of the workshop session dated June 11th, 2024, and the regular meeting dated June 12th, 2024, and accept and approve the video recordings of both meetings as the official meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 2 is to approve the bills.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 3 is to transfer monies.
So move.
Second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 4 is to approve additional appropriations.
Motion to approve.
Second the move?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 5 is to approve transfer of appropriations.
So move.
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 6 is to adopt a resolution which will amend the dates for performance and disbursement deadline and accounting deadlines for American Rescue Plan Act ARPA agreements to conform with the newer rules, as well as a change to Liberty Township's agreement on the division of the grant within the project. Commissioners, next page in the center, therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners. Number 1, the county wishes to amend the following grant agreements as listed within the table. Number 2, the grant agreements are hereby amended as follows. Section 1D, the performance end date is extended to December 1st, 2025. Section 2, this section is amended only to extend the disbursement deadline to December 1st, 2025. Section 3, this section is amended to extend the deadline for a full accounting to December 15th of 2025. The next page. Number 3, all other provisions of the above listed grant agreements shall remain in full force and effect. Number 4, the county further wishes to further amend the grant agreement entered into with Liberty Township by way of resolution by the Board of Commissioners on April 10th, 2024, to correct scrivener's errors relating to all allocations of funds. The Liberty Township grant agreement shall be amended such that Section 2 states as follows. Board of Trumbull County Commissioners will disperse to the township from ARPA funds received under House Bill 481 the sum of $450,000. The township shall use the funds for Liberty Center Park, expending approximately $200,000 towards the improvement of the stormwater management system at the Liberty Center Park, and the remaining funds, approximately $250,000, toward improvement of the Liberty Center Park ball fields, picnic pavilions, and walking paths. And number 5, no obligations paid under the authority of this resolution were incurred prior to March 3rd, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 7 is to agree that Baker Dublicar, attorneys at law, may undertake the concurrent representations of Vernon Township and the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners in the road improvement contractual matters, thus waive any objection to the conflict of interest with respect to such concurrent representations and to execute this waiver.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 8, to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners and David E. Zofko, P.E., to perform backup building official duties on behalf of the Building Inspection Department in accordance with the requirements of Rule 4101-7201 and 4101-7301 of the Administrative Code to serve in the event of a conflict of interest or the unavailability of the building official. The backup building official shall be clearly identified and disclosed in the yearly operational report.
Motion to approve.
Second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 9 is to award the proposal as submitted by Claiborne Ford Lincoln of Warren, Inc. for the purchase of one 2024 Ford Ranger XL 4x4 Super Crew cab vehicle for use by the Trumbull County Building Inspection Department in the amount of $38,200.
Motion to approve.
Second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 10 is to adopt a resolution for record purposes that the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners' regular weekly meeting scheduled for Wednesday, July 10th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. shall be held at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds, 899 Everett Hall Road, Cortland, Ohio.
Motion to approve?
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes. Also make a note that the public is invited to that meeting, and we encourage anybody to come out and support not only the fair, but the 4-H kids through the different activities they have, including the sale. But we do welcome the public for that meeting and encourage them to be there.
Item number 11 is to approve an annual payment of $2,500 to the Trumbull County Family and Children First Council for fiscal year 2025, term of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve?
Second it?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item number 12 is to concur with the Trumbull County Engineer to grant the special annual supplier fleet permits requested by the companies listed. And those companies are Heavens Hauler LLC, Hemley Tool Supply, Inc., Oscar Brugman Sand and Gravel, Inc., Diamond Well Services LLC.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 13 is to concur with the county engineer to grant the right-of-way permits requested by the company listed. And there are 3 permits for lead core technical services.
So move?
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 14 is to concur with the Trumbull County engineer to close the following roadway: Phalanx Mills, Herner Road, County Highway 127 in Braceville Township, between State Route 534 and Herner County Line Road, County Highway 220 for bridge replacement. And the closing dates are Monday, June 24th, 2024 through Friday, July 19th, 2024.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 15 is to concur with the county engineer to grant the special hauling permit to haul steel coils requested by the company listed, and that company is J-Row Transportation Services, Inc.
Motion to approve?
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 16 is to approve the Ohio Department of Transportation prepared professional services agreement with MS Consultants, Inc. to provide professional engineering services for the TRU Genesee Avenue / Elm Road intersection project located in Howland Township in the amount of $208,061. MS Consultants, Inc. was the only consultant to respond to the county's advertisement for letters of interest related to the TRU Genesee Avenue Elm Road project.
Motion to approve?
Second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 17 is to award the lowest responsive and responsible bid as submitted by Shelley and Sands, Inc. for the TRU Larchmont Avenue project in the amount of $1,015,820.81 to be paid by an 80% STBG grant received through Eastgate Regional Council of Governments, which will be direct pay with a 20% local match to be paid from the engineer's highway fund as listed, and to enter into a contract with Shelley and Sands, Inc. for said project.
Motion to approve?
Second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 18 is to award the lowest responsive and responsible bid as submitted by RT Vernal Paving and Excavating, Inc. for the TRU County Highway 12 Chestnut Ridge Road project in the amount of $180,138.50, and to enter into a contract with RT Vernal Paving and Excavating for said project.
Motion to approve?
I'll second that?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 19 is to accept the resignation of Mr. Michael Del Bono from his position of groundskeeper with the Trumbull County Maintenance Department effective June 7th, 2024.
Motion to approve?
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 20 is to authorize the transfer of Mr. Brian Pishotti from the position of custodian to the position of groundskeeper at $20.10 per hour within the Maintenance Department. Mr. Pishotti will begin his new duties effective Monday, July 8th, 2024.
Motion to approve?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 21 is to approve the retirement and present a resolution to Mr. William Bim Turner from his position as Executive Director with the Workforce Development Board of Trumbull County. Mr. Turner will be retiring effective June 28th today, 2024, with over 45 years of service to Trumbull County. The Board of Commissioners and staff would like to pay a fond farewell to Bim and wish him many years of happiness, good health, and relaxation for which he is most deserving.
Motion to approve?
I'll second the motion.
And just for discussion, this one's a whole lot easier, Bim. But at the same time, been 11 years now we've been working together, and it's been a pleasure. You've given your heart and soul to Trumbull County, that's for sure. And we're going to miss you. So.
And to follow up with that, after 45 years, I figured to be like a waterfall over there, losing him. I feel it in my gut a little bit too, that this is one of the guys when I first got here a year and a half ago. Just the first meeting that I had with him, I could tell that he was a man of authority, a man of knowledge, a pillar in his job of what he does. I could see with the staff. I could see in one of the first meetings we went to, we had one of the directors was in town, and he attended with Dimitri over at JFS building, and just the reverence and the communication from the staff there that dealt with him. I could tell this is the guy. And we're through the meetings we had over the last year and a half, I've been honored to sit at the table with him and hear his input for the good of Trumbull County. He's passed on a lot of information over the years, much more than we'll ever be able to remember. But I'm sure he'll just be a phone call away, and being the type of person that I believe he is, I'm sure we're still going to see him throughout the community. He's not going to disappear. We do have a resolution here. Do we want to read it this time?
You go ahead. Yeah.
If that's okay. Mr. Turner, if you can approach, please.
Are you still going to be the voice of the Howland Tigers? I just want to know.
They haven't kicked me out yet,
Good,
so.
good. I hear that voice echoing, so.
Mr. Turner, we have a resolution by the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners honoring you, William Bim Turner, upon his retirement of his Workforce Development Board of Trumbull County. Whereas it was great pleasure that the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners joins others in honoring Bim upon his retirement from the Workforce Development Board of Trumbull County. And whereas Bim began his career with Trumbull County in June of 1978, when we were puppies, I don't know if you were even here, as a summer aide with the Trumbull County Employment and Training Agency. He returned in the same capacity in 1979. In September of 79, Bim was hired by the youth as the youth supervisor. Later, he was promoted to youth coordinator, EEO officer, and the vocational and informational services manager. And whereas when the Private Industry Council replaced TCETA, Bim was hired as a case manager and then moved to job developer, to summer program supervisor, then the business liaison manager. The PIC merged with Trumbull County Job and Family Services in 2000, and he was employed as the WIA administrator. When WIOA replaced WIA, Bim was employed as the WIA administrator. Then in 2015, in response to federal legislation, Bim assumed the duties of executive director of the Workforce Development Board of Trumbull County. And whereas Bim's experience and devotion have proven invaluable during his years of service, he always made sure the office was represented professionally while he earned the respect of everyone he worked with. Over the years, he has been dependent upon for guidance, leadership, friendship, and knowledge. He served the residents of Trumbull County in a caring, professional manner and will be greatly missed by all. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners honor William Bim Turner for his outstanding, dedicated, never-ending service to Trumbull County, especially his devotion and expertise to the Workforce Development Board of Trumbull County. Therefore, be it further resolved that the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners and the Workforce Board of Trumbull County, in congratulating William Bim Turner upon his retirement, and sincerely wishes him many, many years of happiness, good health, and relaxation for which he is most deserving. Our sincere thanks and best wishes, Trumbull County Board of Commissioners. Ben will present this to you, get a picture, and then we want to hear a few of your departing words of wisdom that you can bestow upon us.
Fine. Thank you. Lisa, want to be in the background?
No.
Up to you.
No, thank you for.
I ask before I take pictures and record people, just saying. Thank you.
I just want to tell everybody, thank you, kind words. I started when I was age 8 and, it's been a ride. It's been fun. It's been exciting to see the county grow and stumble, then grow again. And now it's on the verge of explosion. So it's going to be, I'll be keeping close watch on the good work that will continue to be done here by everyone. And just want to thank you all and say good luck. Thank you.
Okay, so I need to take the vote for that. Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 22 is to approve the sale and purchase agreement of the warranty deed from the Western Reserve Port Authority in the amount of $52,540, which is to be paid from project fund as listed, and to allow Denny Malloy, President of the Board of Commissioners, to sign the submitted sale purchase agreement for said parcel for the Western Reserve Greenway Bike Trail in Trumbull County, Ohio, Phase 4, and to approve and transfer and appropriate the funds necessary for this purchase.
Motion to approve?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 23 is to approve the purchase of the standard highway easement referencing parcel 23C for the Western Reserve Greenway Bike Trail in Trumbull County, Ohio, Phase 4 from the city of Warren, Ohio, in the amount of $460, which is to be paid from the project funds as listed, and to approve the transfer of funds necessary for said purchase.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 24 is to approve the bridge painting project of 2 bridges on the Western Reserve Greenway Phase 4 project area within the city limits of Niles. The engineer's estimate for the project is $420,000, and to approve the transfer and appropriation of funds necessary for this project is listed, and to authorize Zachary Svet, Director, Trumbull County Metro Parks, to bid the project with applicable state and federal regulations. The project entails preparing the existing structure steel for painting, grinding fins, tears, and silvers, applying 3 field coats of ODOT required paint to the structural steel, and providing for maintenance of traffic, mobilization, and performance bond.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 25 is to receive and place on file the April 2024 monthly financial report for the Trumbull County Tourism Bureau.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 26 is to establish the creation of the Behavioral Health Grant Fund, known as Fund Number 102, for use by the Trumbull County Juvenile Court. The fund is being created to accept a grant from the Ohio Department of Youth Services to create 2 comfort sensory rooms in the amount of $18,000 on a reimbursement basis due no later than October 31st, 2024.
A motion to approve?
Second that motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 27 is to approve the renewal by the Trumbull County Commissioners of the Warren Trumbull Home Consortium Agreement for the fiscal years 2025 through 2027. The 2025-2027 agreement will include the City of Warren and Trumbull County, along with the City of Hubbard and the villages of Lordstown, Newton Falls, Orangeville, West Farmington, and Yankee Lake.
Motion to approve?
Second the motion?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 28 is to concur with the Trumbull County Planning Commission and authorize Danny Malloy, President of the Board of Commissioners, to sign and execute the Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund Administration Agreement for the period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2026 with the State of Ohio Department of Development.
Motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Malloy.
Yes.
Item 29 is to authorize the acceptance of maintenance bond number Q897970263 from Erie Insurance Company for the project year 2023 HSTS Reserve Program for 2 home sewage treatment systems installed by 2M Services LLC. 2M Services LLC completed the installation of 2 home sewage treatment systems in Hartford and Howland Townships, funded through the PY 2023 HSTS Reserve Program. The 2-year maintenance bond for the work completed in the amount of 20%, $6,280 of the final project cost, $31,400, for a period of 2 years as required by the contract documents and is valid for 2 years commencing May 29th, 2024 and ending May 29th, 2026.
A motion to approve?
Second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 30 is to award a contract to Freedom Roofing, Windows and Siding LLC for the Girard Multi-Generational Center Gym Roof Replacement Project in the amount of $68,734, and to authorize the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners to enter into a contract agreement with Freedom Roofing, Windows and Siding LLC in order to meet the rules and regulations of the CDBG program and local county requirements.
A motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 31 is to authorize the Planning Commission to submit an amendment request for an extension of time for grant number SP 21CS1, Project Year 2020 Appalachian Development Program to the State of Ohio Appalachian Development Program, and authorize Denny Malloy, President of the Board of Commissioners, to sign any related required documents.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 32 is to authorize the Trumbull County Planning Commission to request price proposals from 3 or more paving companies for the Howland Scope Center parking lot resurfacing project funded through the Project Year 23 CDBG Community Development Grant Program BF 231CS1, Project 1, Activity 2.
A motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 33 is to authorize the Trumbull County Planning Commission to send notification letters to all of Trumbull County's currently registered and licensed home sewage treatment system installers, announcing that requests for price proposal packets are now available for pickup at the Trumbull County Planning Commission. A fee of $10 is being charged per price proposal packet, and each packet includes technical specifications for 10 owner-occupied households identified and qualified to receive financial assistance through the Project Year 23 and 24 OEPA Water Pollution Control Loan Fund Principal Forgiveness Program, HSTS Reserve Program.
Motion to approve?
Second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 34 is to approve the detailed drawings for the North State Line Road Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project, known as County Project Number 1-S-19 in the Trumbull County Combined Sanitary Sewer District Metropolitan Subdistrict.
Motion to approve?
Second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 35 is to adopt a resolution confirming and levying final assessments for the cost of construction of the State Road Phase 2 Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project number 4-S-16 in Champion Township within Trumbull County's combined sanitary sewer district.
Motion to approve?
Second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 36 is to approve the detailed sanitary sewer drawings for the Pendleton-Gilmer Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project, Warren Township, Trumbull County Combined Sanitary Sewer District, Metropolitan Subdistrict known as County Project 6-S-22.
Motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 37 is to authorize payment to the Ohio Workforce Association for the renewal of annual dues in the amount of $4,350. The Ohio Workforce Association is the state workforce directors organization of which Trumbull County is a member. OWA allows the state workforce directors to meet with the state of Ohio regarding WIOA, CCMEP, opioid grants, employment, training, education, and other workforce endeavors in order to effectively implement them.
Motion to approve?
Second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Item 38 is to increase the Ohio Healthy Aging Grant Award to the Trumbull County Office of Elderly Affairs Home Delivered Meal Program, provided to the Trumbull County residents 60 years of age and older in the amount of $11,436 for a total award of $167,436 to sustain continued home delivered meal operation for the term through September 30th, 2024.
Motion to approve?
I'll second in discussion for a second. I just want to commend the Office of Elderly Affairs, the guys there that work hard to deliver these meals. We're extending some money to keep them going, and they're most of the workers they have there. There's only a few, but they're retired from another job. They make peanuts to do this. Basically, they're basically making minimum wage, but they do this out of the kindness of their heart because they care about the people that they serve. They look forward to going and seeing these people every day, checking up on them, checking not only their nutrition and the food that they deliver, but checking on their mental health at the same time. And that might be the only person that some of these elderly see in a day. A lot of them don't have families. A lot of them are shut-ins. And so I want to commend Donnie Hyde and the guys that do this, that thank you for what they do. I'm happy to extend it out a little bit longer. I wish this program could continue forever as long as we have volunteers like that, but we do have other things down the road where we're going to be able to service the people as we make a change with this office. But I just want to do a shout out to the dedicated employees that work there that basically volunteer to do this stuff on behalf of our seniors and shut-ins in the community.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes. Okay, that closes out our business, and that, my friends, is how good government functions. A lot of people, we received some criticism that, well, how come Commissioner Cantalasa always makes a motion? You always second everything he says. It's the way it's supposed to work. We did a workshop. We worked out the details. It's customary through Robert's Rules of Order that the president does not make the motion. We could rotate back and forth to, spice it up a little bit, but and to stay customary and in accordance with Robert's Rules of Orders, the president shouldn't make a motion unless last resort, unless he has one that could be contested by the rest of the board. So it's customary. And following that, the Commissioner Cantalasa makes a motion. If I second the motion, it's because we've already discuss things in a workshop. We already know what our vote is going to be on majority of the issues, not because we're in cahoots, not because that we back each other up on everything we do, but because we worked it out. We came here on a Monday, and because of the schedule this week, and worked this stuff out Monday afternoon, did more research through the week. They amended some of the things to add more, to make it more detailed and to get the facts better and straighter for the community. And so some of these things were changed slightly, but we were notified of those changes. We're able to do our research the last couple of days to reaffirm the discussion and the votes that we had. So when we came in here, we have a mindset already of, is this good or is this not? So people will criticize, I guess, a lot of things we do. They'll criticize, oh, it was boring, how quick it was. Well, unfortunately, we're going to get a whole county and a whole community going back to work early today and being more productive with the community because we gave them good government. And I'm sorry if that's boring. I'm sorry if that's not as exciting of a day as they were hoping for, but that's what we're supposed to do. That's what you elected us to do. Now, on other notes, Commissioner, do you have anything from the?
I'd just like to say one thing about the sanitary sewer department, and I see Gary and Bob back there. The State Road Phase 2 sanitary sewer project. 2 years ago, we hired an engineer in-house, Bill McCoskey, who was going to bring down cost and help us with different projects. We're seeing little by little that come to fruition with the State Road project. We went from what was initially $3,500 per service connection to down to $2,500 per service connection because the in-house engineering that we were able to do in that department and the foresight of Gary and Bob to hire such an asset and put him to work. So it's a savings to the people in that district. And ultimately we're getting more people connected. So thank you both for that.
And I'll second that sentiment too. That has become routine in that department, that he will promise the community one thing and he will deliver a better deal by the time it happens. And we're doing the same thing in Bezetta with the water. We're doing the same thing with sewer lines throughout the rest of the community. They don't just get the public support and move on with it and leave it as it is. He's always looking for better ways to save money. It doesn't give him any more of a bonus. It doesn't give him any more anything other than we have more money to do more projects down the road. So it's actually creating more work for him in the long run. I'd also like to take a second here to welcome, we have a dignitary in our community today. His Eminence, the Archbishop Elpidophoros of America, which is one of the highest ranking Greek Orthodox religious and spiritual leaders from New York City, is in our community here today visiting with some of the Greek community. And it's quite an honor when someone like this, if we had the Pope or we had something big going on in another religion, that would be a big news for the Greek Orthodox community here. This is a big deal, and we welcome into our community today, and we wish him blessings and a great experience here visiting with our community. I just got back from the DC fly-in yesterday. It was fantastic. I got to tell you, Trumbull County has a bright future. We had more than 92 people attend, which is their biggest fly-in yet, second biggest contingency, next to Dayton from what I heard so far. We were able to meet, first it started off, and I'll give a full synopsis next week in writing. But we went to Congressman Mike Ruley's inauguration at the Capitol Tuesday night and got to sit in the gallery and watch Congress in session and watch them vote. And then at the end of their day, they swore in Congressman Ruley. And this is important because our districts have changed over the years. And as State Senator Ruley, who wasn't even in Trumbull County, he was instrumental in helping us in Lordstown with a lot of the things going on there. And he vowed to us, not only there, but in meetings we had with him afterward, that he will serve the people of Trumbull County and Mahoning Valley also. So in essence, it's like we have a second congressman up here, and as fast as he talks and as hard as he works, it's kind of like three congressmen working for our area in the valley. So we wish Congressman Ruley great success again. We're honored that he's going to represent us. He does have familiarity with our county. He does care, and it was quite an honor to be there to watch that and support him in the Mahoning Valley in that. And because of that, the spotlight was shined on Northeast Ohio by all Congress. Democrats, Republicans. He even said that Nancy Pelosi was one of the nicest people to him that day. And they recognized the Ohio contingency. Because of that, it opened doors for us being in the fly-in, that the Northeast Ohio people were in town, and we got a lot of ears. There were people that had a meeting at the White House. We had meetings in the congressional the congressional hall in the Library of Congress. I had FaceTime myself with 4 different congressmen in regards to Mosquito Lake, in regards to Thomas Steele, in regards to the air base. We got a lot of pledges, a lot of commitments, a lot of promises to follow up after the fact. And it got to the point by the end of the thing, they knew what we were going to say already, because they had been warned that here's our issues we're looking for, and they were ready for us. We had an ear from Senator Brown and Senator Vance's people, but we had Congressman Joyce, Congressman Max Miller, and Congressman Ruley in person, and as well as other side meetings that people did throughout the weekend. So very successful weekend for the Valley. We're on the map, and we just need to follow up with it. But I was proud to be from the Mahoning Valley with that group. And all of Congress knew we were there. And a lot of it was jumping on Congressman Rowley's coattail, that they opened up like, where's he from? Who is he? And then it's like, hey, here we are. Here we're his people. We are Northeast Ohio Mahoning Valley citizens. And it was really cool. And I thank you for the opportunity of sending me. I thank the chamber for all the hard work they did, the Port Authority. It was a pretty awesome experience.
Great.
We at the same time, we have the fair coming up. I want to thank the people from Verizon and AT&T. And one of the commitments I made to the people last year was after the fair, how disgusted I was at the lack of communication. Steve Christian from Eastgate reached out to help us. He worked with our IT department to put us in the right direction. And our IT department stepped up, and we're going to have good communication at the fairgrounds this year for the people that go, and for the residents that live around the fairgrounds that lose the reception because of the number of people that invade their neighborhood and you take up all the cell phone space. So I'm looking forward to that being great, and looking forward to showcasing what we have to Trumbull County. We've done a lot of improvements at the fair that we're very, very proud of. We've shown a lot of love over the last year and a half to the fairgrounds, and a lot more to come. And a lot of some of that is going to be as a result of this fly-in too. I believe we had some discussions about fairs in general, and that's all I have. Anything else from you?
I don't think so. I'm looking forward to see, obviously when we talk about the key features of the Valley, the Air Force Base is the #1 employer in the Valley, and we need to make sure that we're sustaining the missions that they have there and potentially adding new missions, giving them every resource we possibly can. And I think we've done that through the years. And the federal whoever it be, Democrat or Republican in office, we've certainly secured dollars for that air base. That's crucial to what we do here. So I do have a quick note on, there's a lot of times when where commissioners are put in a difficult situation when it comes to awarding contracts. We try to localize everything as much as we possibly can, because we realize that local people getting to work means more tax revenue, and families in the Valley, accomplishing and being successful. So we try to do that whenever we can. We did have Freedom Roofing, which came out of nowhere really, for the CDBG grant for the Girard Multi-Generational Center. I tried to do my due diligence to see if there was anything, because they're not local, but the company is reputable, and they do good work. And we do have a member of the Painters Union here. Jimmy, did you want to get up and say something too on this? We try to always provide for local work, and we always aim to do that. But it's a testament to you, because at the end of the day, you came up to me before the meeting and said, look, of course, we'd always like to get the work. We'd always like to get the job, and we'd always like to keep it local. But there's nothing wrong with this company. So we can't sit here and say, don't go with this company. You can elaborate on that a little bit, Jim.
Jim Taylor, Western Reserve Building Trades. So yes, we did look into Freedom Roofing, as we do all contractors that come into Trumbull County, Mahoning County, Columbiana County. And with that research, there was a couple small OSHA violations, but the business has been in, they've been in business for 12 years, and have no tax liens, or anything, no prevailing wage violations. And so I did want to speak after the first part that I wanted to speak about, but with this one, I did talk tomorrow and I said, look, I'd like to say that it's approximately $20,000 cheaper, for the county. And it's not about the union or non-union, but getting the best company for the project. So, and I did relay that information to tomorrow. And so obviously we're gonna keep an eye out on them. We want local workers first. Obviously, union is in my blood. So we'd like that too, but I did want to make that.
It is refreshing that you sit up here and say that, because that shows not only your commitment to your union and your work, but your commitment to this valley, because hey, good work is good work. We can't argue with it. So we
And saving the
appreciate that.
taxpayers' money is, what we're all about in the end.
Thank you.
So.
And that is something with this bid here, they came almost $30,000 under the engineer's estimate. So we were getting about a $20,000 better deal than the backup second and third place bidder. So I hope their work is as quality as we hope that it is. And that's a good deal for us. And I also want to commend you, Jimmy, while you're up here. The first time I met you, when I first got in office a year and a half ago, you came to me about a bridge and about the bike trail and asking for assistance to speed the process up to make sure we didn't lose out on the deal. And I want to commend not only you, but Zach, the mayor of Niles, coming together to make this thing possible, to connect that other little missing piece of the puzzle. And I'm sure your guys will work hard and the community will work hard to find the right people to make that bridge like new again. And it'll be something that'll be an asset to the county for people to enjoy recreation on.
So just to speak a little bit on that as well, and that was my other comment that I was going to make. I wanted to come up here and first of all, give my respect to Mike Selinsky, Bill Hart, Julie Green. They put the grants together. They put and everybody else that goes along with putting out the bids, and following up with prevailing wage coordinators and so on and so forth. I was in this project from inception. I had a meeting with Steve McKevich and he said, Jimmy, he says, you're a painter agent. I have about 25 bridge painter contractors up in Camel. And he said, what can we do about getting this bridge painted? And that was the first conversation, December of 21. That's how long it took to get this done. From there, I reached out to State Representative Mike Loychik. And by the March of 22, we had acquired $300,000 in state funding. And so I want to give him, some accolades as well. And then moving from there, working with Zach Savet and the commissioners, and I greatly appreciate all the work and support in having Zach stay on this. There was some CSX easements that had to be worked through. We knew that was going to take some time. Once that got done, we did actually, and I want to give some credit to the Trumbull County Engineers Office. They ended up putting the specs together. That was the same specs as required by ODOT. So they were a part of this as well. And then kind of rolling that all in with the final funding at the end. And the city of Niles was with the 24,300, I believe. So that shows that everybody, the state, the county, the city of Niles, and the union is, in there trying to collaborate together to get this all to come to, and it looks like it'll be out to bid. And hopefully we get that bridge painted by the end of the year. So I want to thank everybody for that.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Sir?
My name is Dan Suttles, trustee, Brookfield Township. I came to you with a request several months ago about a proposed injection well in Brookfield Township off of McMullen Road. It's close proximity to where the Marks Tower is going up. Since then, got some news this week, and I don't know the exact who was contacted, but somebody from the building department has been approached by this company, Select Water, to get an approval for a phase 3 electrical service on this property, which I believe they're requesting easement through the two county properties that surround this parcel. And I just guess I wanted to keep that in your, I don't know if you've discussed it as a board. I presented you the parcels involved, the proximity to our school district, which is within 1,000 yards of this injection well, and the possibility you may be able to stop it since you have properties adjacent to this, that they have to go through county property to put this injection well in. So I wanted to refresh you about it. I don't know how that process goes, if the building department could, or whoever do the approval without the commissioners, or do the commissioners have to be involved? I didn't know the
Has to
process.
be involved if there is any easement, or they're asking for any easements. And by the way, this is the second time where we're talking about an injection well that's less than 1,000 or about 1,000 yards from a school. The other one is near Southington and Warren Township. I'm going to have a hard time when you talk about what we know about injection wells and the people's concern around this county and the schools being in close proximity, not to mention our Marks Tower is right there, which is very, very important in a lot of ways. And we can't have any disturbance when it comes to that. I'm going to have a hard time granting those easements. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, another thing to consider is this company seems to be hell bent on doing this. McMullen Road, if you're familiar with that, is in terrible shape. They've approached the commissioners once again, or the engineer once again. They're approaching vendors on their own to pay for the reconstruction of this road on their own, even if the county doesn't have any pay into it. So they're hell bent on doing this. That's quite an expense to actually reconstruct the road. But I just wanted to make you aware. I know you have a lot of things that come across here every month, week, but this is still ongoing, and we're still concerned in Brookfield Township.
Well, we haven't talked to Mike Selinsky yet. I'm sure he's going to bring it to our attention. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, great. Auditor Yoder has more.
Martha Yoder, Trumbull County Auditor. First of all, just so you know, we have no recorded lease for that injection well so far. They have it. That doesn't mean they don't have one with the property owner, with Select Water. There's nothing on record. They have not approached, they approached Bill, Mr. Hart. Because of the involvement of the ARPA project there, they've been redirected to my office. We are trying to get more information about specifically what they're intending to do as far as the electrical connection. Because it looks like they want to go underground on the property where the Marks Tower is. We're not certain if that's what they want, but we're trying to get actually what they're talking about first, because there's been a lot of approaching people on the property. The person, Mr. Miller from the state, was approached by this person. Again, there's no lease. There's nothing that we can find. Just to clarify, the person that owns the property where the injection well is located owns property that surrounds the little T of property where the tower is supposed to be located. We're not completely certain as far as the road, what they're in, where they're trying to get that improved, because there's actually the county road sort of, just to give a better idea, the county road McMullen comes here and sort of does a bend into our property. Beyond that property, there's no road. And I think they're trying to get that road built, but I'm not sure, because if you look at it logically of what they would want, that road is just north of the of where the injection well is. I should say that property where there's no road, that is your property, the county commissioners. All right.
Correct.
There's like a little just sliver there that if the road was extended, that would be where the road would be.
Yes,
All right.
showed that on the property. And what I think has happened is the property owner approached one of my colleagues, fellow trustees, and so he's aware of us approaching you. So I don't know if they're gonna try to do an end around. And it may be that we can do nothing or you can do nothing. We're just asking if there is, we try to make it more difficult for them to do this because they're spending this type of money. Who knows how far they'll go, but if we can stop them
Right.
somehow.
And just so you know, there are two other ways where they have access to the property. There's McMullen where it is actually a county road and it would require them to sort of go around our property.
Yes.
They also have, if you've looked at where the property lines are, they go down to, what is the road?
Route 7.
Right, no, Route 7 is, I'm talking it's running east, what runs west below, parallel to McMullen. I can't think.
That would be Sharon Stewart Road.
Sharon Stewart
Okay,
Road.
all right.
All right, so the property itself has like a little sliver that runs down to that. So like where you could put a drive, but they would have to go all the way up to where they're trying to they're trying to make it more expedient but I think, and again, I don't have all the details, we're still trying to get that information from them, but they're trying to make it more expedient by trying to extend that road, we think, and then go right to the injection well. Again, to extend the road would require an easement on the county, the Board of Commissioners property. We believe too, the way that they want to connect the electrical connection would also require an easement.
easement.
We're not sure. We're asking we reached out, I had Mr. Masaki reached out to the representative from the Select Water Company to find out exactly where they want those underground cables to go, or underground electrical connections to go. Of course, I understand your concern. My concern as someone who's trying to help with these ARPA projects is we cannot jeopardize that tower, nor the other tower that is there, the
Right.
vertical bridge tower that belongs to, I believe, iHeart now. So we have those responsibilities. Initially, it sounded like, and again, there was a lot of communication that was back and forth that was verbal to Mr. Hart as well as to Mr. Miller, that it sounded like this representative actually thought that he had an easement on the county's property. And we looked that up very thoroughly. Both Mr. Danzo and I looked that up very thoroughly, and we couldn't find, I had someone from my office and Mr. Danzo was also looking. So I just want you guys to know we're on it. We're just trying to collect information. Mr. Danzo had intended to approach you once we had more information, but kind of preempted us a little bit. That's okay. But I did want you to know we're working on the research on it. And of course, that whole property that surrounds the T was also, unfortunately, the object of a lawsuit several years ago as well.
Okay.
So that's why we weren't sure how that was deeded or anything, and we've looked it up. There's no easement. The only thing, just as a reminder, too, because you may not realize this, the property that surrounds our property, because of that, as part of that lawsuit, we retain 50%, or I'm sorry, the county retains 50% of the mineral rights for that property, which may also have an impact as far as the injection well. But Mr. Danzo is researching that, all right?
I will say this, Mr. Suttles and Auditor Yoder, and this doesn't reflect the board's views, but it's my own view. Trumbull County has the unfortunate moniker of having some of the most injection wells in the state of Ohio, because we're sort of a dumping ground, unfortunately, for these things coming from Pennsylvania, from Indiana, from different places. And at some point, we have to make a stand here when you're talking about being near schools, when we're talking about what we know what it does to the water table, when you talk about potential seismic activity. There are certain things we have to do, in my opinion, this isn't the opinion of the board, in my opinion, to put a stop to it. I understand corporations and entities want to make money, and they want to make money by putting this stuff into the ground, but I'm very passionate about this. I've been on conference calls with the state. I've sent a letter to ODNR voicing my displeasure on this, and if it were up to me, the easements would not be granted. I just,
The seismic
go on record as a-
activity is my concern as far as the towers go.
of course.
That, and particularly the Marks Tower, because that's impacting our public safety.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go to Gary first.
That's Gary Newbrow, sanitary engineer. This is the first I'm hearing about this injection well, but keep in mind, we have an elevated water storage tank on that property also. So I don't know if that becomes a factor or not, but from my standpoint, I don't want to see an injection well that close to a water tank that's tributary to thousands of our customers out there in that southeast district. And especially when we talk about potential seismic activity, I can see a potential disaster out there.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Glenn from City of Niles. I live within eyeshot of the injection well on 169 that was proven to cause seismic activity before. And the story not too long ago is about meander. They're worried about meander. Well, like I said, I can see it from my house. So, if they're worried about meander, please worry about the neighborhood too. And like you said, no more injection in and around things that are, neighborhoods. But the Marks Tower, I've been to the meeting here where they said it was absolutely needed for communication for first responders, law enforcement. Yeah, no more injection wells. Mr. Malloy, I learned more about your trip to DC than your colleague. I called for a report after she got back the last time, but I learned more about what Trumbull County is going to gain. I'm not going to say potentially because you represented us very well. I appreciate it. From one Facebook post and today, I learned more than she ever did. She never did give a report, but thank you very much for representing us, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Mr. Hovis? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, go ahead, sir. You're next. I'm sorry.
Anyhow, my name is Gary Zuga, and I'm a resident of Bezetta Township. I own property in Bezetta Township, and I'm here to talk about the issue with tax map. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when you portion off a piece of your property, you split it, you sell it to the neighbor, it has to go through some various functions in the county. The last one being tax map, okay? This takes 4 to 6 weeks to do. And almost all the time, it's 6 weeks, all right? And other counties around us can do it in a day. If you go to Ashtabula County, before 9 o'clock, the same day it's done. Summit County, Portage County is a week, 2 weeks at the most. They have 2 or 3 people doing it. We have 6 review people, as I understand, doing this in our counties. Now, I don't get where all these other counties can do it. Granted, Ashtabula doesn't have the content that we do, okay, the turnover, but I just think that something's not right. Somebody's not being managed. And if we're paying 4 extra people that other counties have 2 and getting less for our money, it doesn't make sense to me. I had a project I had sold to my neighbor because my property was in their driveway. So we tried to get this done. So I sold them the property, and this just has dragged on. It's ridiculous.
Now, of course, that is a independent department of the Board of Commissioners. That's a different, right. So we have the auditor right there to let her speak on her own behalf.
Just to let you know, tax map, when we have to do, when a transfer happens and there has been next survey or a survey on next transfer, it's required that a survey be done, and that takes time. There is also a shortage of surveyors, so this is outside of our office, right? A shortage of surveyors to get some of these things done, which also backlogs. Sometimes people will say, we'll have title companies, we'll have other people say, or even realtors, I've said, oh, you've had this forever, and we'll go back and look. And no, we haven't had it forever. It's the delay is the surveyor. Also, when they have to do this editing, and by the way, we don't have 6 editors.
How many do you have?
We have 5, and we
Okay.
have one who is,
Okay, you got
we
five.
have one who is still in training. It's a very detailed job. It takes a lot of training to do it. It takes a long time to get to a place where you can do it in a timely fashion. And actually, right now, we have one out who's on paternity leave as well. When I took over, that delay that he's talking about was twice what it is now.
Well, I know the previous person had the same problem.
Right. There was, and there's a whole discussion about how it got to this point that happened before I came in. But it had a lot to do with 2020. It had a lot to do with staffing shortages and trying to get people trained. Since I took over, one of the things I did was examine the process to see what was going on. I found out that our editors, our people, our techs who are doing this, were also doing clerk work, which slows them down. This kind of process, if you get stopped to do a phone call and it takes 5 minutes to do the phone call, it delays the process more like 20 minutes because they have to go back to where they were, right? So what we did is we came in, we found, I found that out. We took and we hired, or we added a position that's just a clerk position to take that stress off of them. And that's part of why we have been able to cut that down. It's a backlog. Hiring somebody, you think, oh, if you hire somebody, it'll go away. It doesn't work because you've got that training to do.
Well, I'm not saying to hire anybody.
Okay,
What
but
I'm
it's
saying
not,
is-
it's not a work ethic. Trust me, we have people who work very, very hard in that department. It's
sure
the
they-
hardest working department we
sure
have. And we have had a real estate market that has gone bonkers in this county, all right? Everywhere, but particularly in
Well,
this
you don't
county.
have
We-
to get involved with just a personal transfer, like I
No.
bought something from
Nope.
you, right? Okay, so that's,
That's-
out- so
it's
that
a-
real estate transfer stuff is out of it. But my point is that, and I'm not blaming you or anybody.
Right.
I'm trying to get this fixed. I got
Well, and-
another piece of property I'm gonna parcel off. And I don't want to wait 6 weeks. I
Well,
think it's
and-
ridiculous.
and-
As far as the surveyors go, you're right, there aren't as many.
Right.
But that also should lighten the load for you because they're behind. Okay.
Well,
Now,
but
that's
then we
different
get
thing.
that. But we absolutely do the very best they are doing the very best that they can to keep up with this and catch up with it. And we have reduced the backlog, but you have to be patient because when we come in and there's months of a backlog and we've reduced it to weeks, that's a good thing.
Well, that is a good
And
thing,
we're
but
trying our best.
I-
And I'm not
happy with that.
Oh, I know that. And I'm not the ice cream man. I can't make everybody happy, but we're doing the very best that we can. It's when you have a problem, you can't fix it like this, right? You have to work through it. I did that. I analyzed the problem and I'm working through it. We have one of our editors that has been in training for about 1.5 years is getting very close to being able to do more things on her own. And I know that sounds like, well, she should be able to do it. It's very detailed work and it has to be done right. And we're also, to be honest with you, making up for a lot of past mistakes for a lot of years. So when these folks come in and we want to get that survey, we want to get that legal description right. When we've had past problems where it hasn't been done right, that means we have to correct those problems. And I'd rather, I know that it's frustrating. Believe me, if I were you, I would be frustrated too. But we want to do it right so that going forward, it isn't like this.
Very good.
All right.
But I think you ought to make a goal that, it's not going to be 6 weeks because that's what it is.
Well, that is our goal.
Yeah.
Our goal is to reduce it.
The title people complain about it. The surveyors complain about it. They had a meeting scheduled with you and they said you called and canceled and said, I think I got this fixed. And they wanted to talk. They wanted to talk.
Yes,
I'm
and
telling you,
I'm going to tell you what happened on that. I got a call from a surveyor who wanted a 15-minute meeting with me one-on-one. And then it turned into 6 people coming to a meeting. And that was an ambush, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. And I have met, listen, I have met with title companies and I have met with realtors, and we've given them instructions on things that they can do to help us reduce it, to be ready when things transfer and how to do it better. So we have done that, and I provided that to both the surveyor and the other people that were invited to that meeting, not by me, by other people.
I think they felt you snubbed them because it is a problem. But anyhow, I think you ought to take a look at your organization, see what you can do. I've been in business all my
Well,
life.
that's
Okay, let me
exact-
just tell you this. I've been in business all my life, and not one of my workers have ever told me they're not the best worker I ever had. Okay, because that's bull crap. So you have to analyze each person. You got to see what they're doing. Somebody's got to be watching them to make sure that everything is expedited so it gets done.
And
I mean,
that's
this is just ridiculous compared to the other counties.
That's being done, sir. And by the way, I was in business for almost 30 years myself.
You know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely did, which is why I came in with a business-like attitude, and I looked at how we were doing things and I said, this is not good. We need to change this. And I'm going to tell you, I know these people are doing a good job. These are very hardworking people, and I have observed that. I have 45 employees in my whole office completely. I have a lot to look at, but I trust those guys. I know they do a good job, and I hear it from other people as well. So I understand your frustration, like I said, and our goal is to reduce that backlog completely. You say I don't have a goal. I absolutely do have a goal, and we've gotten a long way towards that goal, but it does take time.
I think we've addressed this well, and I see you
Oh.
both hopefully can understand the communication thing here, that they're working hard. You can't change it overnight. Your concerns have been addressed. They've been heard. There's nothing we can do to speed it up any faster for you, but it does look like they're making every effort they can to serve the public quicker.
Hey, I got another thing.
Yes, sir.
You went to the fly.
All right.
Yes, it's
Am I
done.
done with
You're
me?
done. You're done.
Thank
Done with
you.
you. Since you went to the fly-in, was there any, we've been talking about getting sewers for East Bezetta Township for,
Yes.
or West, I'm sorry, for some time. And, we talk about our Mosquito Lake. It's a great attraction. We have a lot of properties around there that could be developed if we could get sewage, okay? Every septic on Bezetta Road, north of 305, drains into that lake. Okay? And you talk about, want to have good water. I mean, I put septics in. People say, oh, there's nothing wrong with my septic. Long as their toilet flushes, they're fine. But go out to the ditch, I tell them, let's see what's coming in the ditch, then you'll know.
Well, I can assure you, sir, the meetings that I had, that I addressed, the reason I was there, and everybody, the 91 other people with the event would say, all Denny Malloy talked about was running a sewer line up Bezetta Road and 46. That's what he addressed with every political entity that he talked with over 3 days. And my goal was that I told every senator, every congressman, every entity, we need some federal help to get funding to run sewage up Bezetta Road and 46 to Route 88. That's why I was there. That's what I said.
Good.
I hear exactly your concern. That's what I ran to do to this office,
Right.
is to extend that into the Mosquito Lake region, into the corridor, without negatively affecting the pristineness of the lake. But I think we need progress there so that we can have some type of progress in getting a restaurant, getting a lodge, getting hotels, getting modern necessities to the people in northern Trumbull County. And we can't get to them until we go through the middle of the county.
Exactly.
And that's my goal is to do.
Right.
And it did not fall on deaf ears. I can assure you that.
But it certainly comes down to affordability. It hasn't been for a lack of trying. It's really expensive. Right.
And they're just little houses. I mean, I understand they need sewers, but what about the rest of the county?
But-
What are you saying?
Well, we've been able to do it wherever we can get grants and wherever we can get assistance from the government. And some of those are mandated that we can get the grant if we go to this neighborhood. Nobody's told us yet, you've got to do something to get to Mecca. I wish to God they would. I wish there would be some mandate to do that. And I know Gary and his team is ready to go. He's told me, Commissioner, get me the funding and we're ready to go. That's our goal now, is to find the funding. I don't want to put on the backs of the landowners on Bezetta Road and the backs of landowners on 46. There's a few landowners that own a lot of frontage, and I could never ask that landowner to incur that cost so his neighbor north of him can have a flush toilet. Yeah, we can't do that. That's where government needs to step in and help. I agree.
And
I agree.
But just keep in mind that when I took office, and Denny as well, we were under a consent decree for many, many, many years of sins of the past, unfortunately, that we had to address, and those had to come first. But by court ruling, those had to come first.
And I
And
would,
we've addressed $60 million, above $60 million in sanitary sewer improvements.
and I would ask
been
you,
doing.
stay on our team with that. You're on our team with this. You know, what you just said here is what I'm saying. So we're not opponents in this. We are on the same team. Stay on that team with us to move forward together so we can get this done. Mr. Hovis.
I like the team concept. Anyways, Mike Hovis, trustee, Bob McBride, trustees from Bezetta Township. Wanted to come and talk to you today, Denny, about the ARPA request that we had for the 300,000. You know, we got shot down for McCleary Jacoby Road. So then we got the 200,000 for the ambulance because we didn't want to waste your guys' time on asking for things that you're going to spend all your money on legal, you know, interpretations of whether it's allowed or not. So with that being said, I want to come here today and ask you guys if you'll consider the extra $100,000 towards McCleary Jacoby, because I understand there's a process for it now. So if you will consider it, I'd like to know what is the next step that we need to take to
Well,
secure
we
this
did
money.
discuss this at our workshop,
We did.
and when we had the meetings last year about how we're going to spend the rest of the ARPA money, you know, I made a comment and a goal, and it was seconded by some other commissioners or in that direction that we were going to split money amongst the townships to give them a goal of $250,000 to $300,000 per township was our goal. Some of them met that, some didn't. Some had requests that fit, some didn't. You had a request, unfortunately, didn't fit at that time, as did Vernon Township. It was a similar request. Vernon found some other legalese ways of partnering up with the county engineer to make that ARPA request fit government guidelines. When we found that out, I brought it up to Martha Yoder and Commissioner Cannon Lace at the workshop. Hey, what about Bezetta? Bezetta had a request. They only got 2/3 of the request. Can we allocate and freeze the rest of that other 100,000? See if they and Farmington wanted to do the same thing and see if they can come up with a similar program like Vernon is going through. I got agreement from Commissioner Cannon Mesa, and that's why I initiated a call to you and said, there's $100,000 still sitting there on the table. If you can come up with the rest of the money from McCleary Jacoby Road, would $100,000 help you reach your goals in Bezetta Township, which you said you think it would. Martha's there, and we do have the process there. We're now, my advice, I guess, what we have, we don't have the magic pill yet, but we need to talk to the township, to the trustees in Vernon, and see exactly what they did. If you can get with Walt and them, get with the engineer, follow a similar formula that they did, resubmit that new thing, which we agreed, we would freeze the money and you'd be right back up there with the opportunity to do that. And if it's agreed upon by the attorney, we still have 900 and some $1,000 we know that we can pull from. And, and that's something that we would seriously consider for you.
I did meet this week with Gary Schaefer. In fact, I asked him to be on the line in case he wanted to add anything to it. We are committed to paving McCleary Jacoby Road next year. We wanted to do it this year, but unfortunately we were right at the cutoff for OPWC funds. So the engineer's office is going to help us out with that.
And that's your next step.
That's your next step. Vernon Township was very, very persistent. I'll give them credit. They pulled something out of a hat that I didn't think they can do. My heart went out to them, and I said, is there any other way? And we were kind of met with dead ends, and they found a way. So their persistence found a way that there's a lot of things to sign off on. I mean, this isn't a slam dunk type thing yet. Until that check is cut, it's still not a slam dunk with Vernon, but it seems like they're on the path to fulfilling their wish that they have in relation to COVID funds.
Want us to hold up till?
No, I want you to move forward as fast as you can.
No, just move forward with, and that's what I've advised for the commissioners, the other townships that were interested in road work to work just with the engineer's office because they figured out this process and how they can make it work legally. So just work with them on that, and then we'll keep moving that forward. But no, don't, because we need to get these are on our end of the county's end, we have to encumber by the end of the year. So we need to get these moving.
Auditor Yoder, just a accounting question. If they do work with them as Vernon did, that would not come from revenue loss. That would be from,
No, it would come from revenue loss.
okay.
When, that's how it works, because we're basically kind of transferring this road, and Mr. Schaefer or Mr. Smith can probably explain it better, even Mr. Danzo, but they're kind of adopting these as county roads, for lack of a better word, right? They're not gonna get dedicated as county roads, but they're kind of, there's a
That's how they're
provision
doing it.
within the ORC that allows you
Okay.
guys to do that, to do the work, right? So, and that work, we were able to work that, or Attorney Rogers was able to work that out with, how it works with ARPA to make it fit. So, but because of that, it comes out of our revenue loss, which that's not a problem. We're nowhere close
No, I
to
know,
that
I know
10
that.
million. So it's,
I want to caution the board and maybe now's the time to do it. And I'm not against it by any means, but I'm saying, moving forward, I think we need a cutoff now. I mean, we have yet to address some major lasting improvements here in the county, being broadband, being, the revitalization project, the Fund for Warren's Future. We do need to set aside some funds for that. And we're getting to the bottom.
the broadband, that Eastgate broadband,
Yes.
that's one of the requests that Attorney Rogers is looking at right now,
Okay.
that 1.5 million.
But I mean, even money set aside for implementation too. That's a great tool that they're going to hire somebody and they're going to be our
No,
point
no, I'm
person.
talking about the actual project, the one.
Yeah, the hiring someone was 50,000. We already did.
Okay. Oh,
$50,000.
I'm getting confused. I'm sorry.
So the 50,000 one, where I'm awaiting the resolution on that one.
Okay.
The $1.5 million one is
Okay.
one of the ones that you guys just had me.
And that's accounted for in there.
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good.
And as far as the revenue loss, we're at a little bit over $7 million in that category right now by my accounting. And I need to go back and review, because some of this I inherited and I want to make sure it's right. But by that, it's about a little over 7 million. We can spend up to 10 million on revenue loss. 100,000 here, 400,000 there. The Farmington was 100,000. Mespo, if they follow through, is 170,000 that we have.
And Commissioner, with all due respect, yeah, these are not new requests. All we were doing is
no,
amending
no.
original requests that
I
were there.
agree, but it's.
And the deadline has passed for new requests.
Okay, good. But I'm still getting phone calls about people asking about new requests. We haven't said, I'm not telling them no, because at this point, I don't know yet. So I
Correct.
think,
Anything comes to me, I tell you once it's come. I did have, and I was going to wait till next week, but I did have one of the townships asking again, or asking about an ambulance request.
Okay.
And basically, I was going to bring that to you guys, whether you wanted me to go ahead and tell them to go ahead and make the request, and we put it on the maybe sheet, or have them come and talk to you.
Okay.
But I can't remember I'm sorry, I can't remember what township it is.
Okay.
But they called in the last couple of days. Newton Township was also one that is actually wanting to do a road request. They were one that we reached out to. They've never had a request. And those were things I was going to ask you about, because we are getting really late in the game.
Yeah, we'll deal with that next Tuesday.
okay.
And that's fine. I'll bring that to you. But what I had been doing, other than when folks come in, make their plea, and you guys go ahead and have me put it on the yes, is anything that comes in just goes on the maybe. And when we get through those
Okay.
yeses, we can do it. Again, as Commissioner Malloy pointed out, this is not a new request.
No, I know that.
Farmington's was not a new request. Mespo has been trying to get something and they've gotten nothing.
I just know that we're getting down to the bare bones here, so we need to start prioritizing some of the other projects too, so.
Submit it. Your effort will not be wasted.
Commissioners, Alex DiVincenzi, Human Resources Director. I would like to just kind of start with a quote real quick. Training is not an expense, but an investment in human capital. And we saw that this week. And I wanted to come up here and commend and thank everybody who attended our course of training Wednesday. Commissioner Malloy, I know you weren't able to attend, but that's why I'm up here. It was beyond effective. It was relevant to what we're seeing today in the labor market, and it was extremely something that I encourage. We're going to be posting the video out to all the department heads, and I'm encouraging everybody in the county to share it with your supervisors. That's something that we typically don't do. We just think training's for department heads, but really this training would be really effective for supervisors as well. I think it's very important. So I will be sharing that, and I would also encourage Commissioner Malloy. Commissioner Frenchco did not attend, but I know that I can trust that you will go back and watch that video. It's very effective, and I highly encourage the board to do so. Commissioner Cantala Mesa, thank you for attending. It meant a lot. Commissioner Cantala Mesa was in attendance, as well as multiple other elected officials. And what I see is we're getting better together as a
We are.
county.
I was going to say that, Alex.
Yeah.
Not to
No, go ahead.
cut you off, but I've been through a few of these now, and I've never seen the attendance, and that's a testament to you getting the word out, making sure that all department heads and elected officials were here. This room was filled with Trumbull County, and it was so pertinent and so germane to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it helps us with Corsa and our
Absolutely.
rates and everything.
You're saving money too, so that's good.
Save money, so. But it was invaluable, and I know the other commissioners will watch it. So
Yes.
it was very well attended, and thanks to you for putting it together.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being there. So with that being said, the last thing I just wanted to make sure, since we're doing such positive things today, so this has been such a great meeting. So thank you, commissioners, genuinely, and thank you to the community as well for remaining positive in their communication. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was I would be remiss, Commissioner Malloy, on number 38, you talked about the elderly affairs, and I just wanted to come up here. Imagine putting yourself in a position where you don't know if you're going to have a job the next day, right, due to funding. And this is something that it really pulls on my heartstrings. Mary Beth Pumphrey, their leader, when I envision what a leader is, it's her. She was a part-time employee who was, just helping deliver meals and do the day-to-day. We pulled her up in the ranks and quickly put her in the leadership role there when we lost Brandy Greenwood, which was unfortunate there as well. But either way, Mary Beth has led that team for almost a year now, believe it or not. She is somebody, again, who's come from a part-time to a full-time position and has emulated what it is to be a leader there. She rallies the troops, she's proactive, she's efficient, and that's a testament to why, Mr. Hyde and all of the drivers there do stay. And I just wanted to take the time to acknowledge that. And I'm so glad to see that we're getting them extra funding to carry them through September. And also reassure you that I will do everything in my power to make sure Mary Beth has a future here in this county once that department does close. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
First off, I want to say that it was good to see that the sewer line is starting, that you passed part on an agenda today. I wanted to thank Gary Newbrow for working. I know it's been years, and it's just good to see some light at the end of the tunnel. And the other questions I have is, of course, the Levisburg Dam. And I know everybody's tired of hearing it, but we have residents coming to our meetings wanting to know what's going on. And I guess the question I'm posing is, I know that you got a meeting set up with Metro Parks and the trustees, and it was at our township. And we have a firm that you were generous enough to pay for part of it, and sanitary engineer Randy paid the other. So we're waiting to get results back from that. And it seems like it's taken a long time for all this. So the questions that we get asked most on a daily basis is, what do you think is going to happen when the commissioners get the report back, if there are environmental findings in that report?
I guess, Kay, and not to put you off with that, but it's way too early for us to make even a comment on that, because we agreed as a group when we had that last meeting to let the process play out. Let's not go negative, positive, anything on this until we see the facts. And until that report's done, it would be irresponsible for myself, or I believe Mr. Cantalasa, to comment on anything that's hypotheticals, because right now we have professionals doing a survey that we trust, and we have to trust that they're doing their best to present all of the facts when those facts come out. then we'd make the decision. But to say, well, if they say this, we're going to do this. If they say this, we're going to do this, would just be irresponsible, and it would be tainting the whole process, which I don't want to do in any way, shape, or form. I want the facts to speak for themselves, and us to all sit down as community leaders and look at the facts and see what's best for our community at that time. And I do feel it is taking a while, but we knew that. We knew they're not going to be able to do a real professional survey. And I'm hoping the time means that they are really doing the work and they're not just reviewing paperwork and past things, that they're actually on site doing a survey itself and doing the testing, coming up, turning over every rock they can to find every fact that they can get regarding the dam.
Well, they have been doing that because they've been on a river doing that for the last few weeks.
And again, this is a survey. We could be asking you the same thing in a sense, because you guys are the ones that commission the survey in a sense of bringing it forward and requesting it. And you are in direct communication with the architecture company. And so that's something that we're kind of out of loop until you come back to us and say the survey's done. Then we will help lead to get the group back together again at that time. But as of right now, we're all on the same boat. We're all in the same waiting period.
And I think that anxieties and concerns are high right now, especially when you see what's going on with Summit Street.
Yeah.
They're starting the removal and that obviously you're seeing that and you're like, oh no, or we're next.
I mean, we're not gonna let anything happen at all until that survey is done and we meet together. You won't have to you don't have to worry about waking up and reading a Ray Smith article in the paper that the commissioners is allowing this and you don't know about this. We're going to keep that communication when I know you're going to know immediately, and all the parties, all the entities will, and we would hope vice versa.
But the concern for our residents is Metro Parks is just moving ahead.
Red Marks can't complete and do anything until
And making it a point to let it out there that they're not going to stop anything. And I'm just going to say it here that actually one of the members has actually been telling people that doesn't care what that report says. And that if we, and I took it as a township, try to do anything, that he will be suing us.
well, they're talking out of school then, because all their trustees sat on that side of the table and agreed. We'll look at the data. We'll allow you to do the survey. We'll look at the data. We won't do anything until the data. There is a process that's playing out from other entities, outside entities. But as far as they go as a board, you go as trustees, we go as commissioners, none of us are supposed to be doing anything in regards to that until the survey is done. So I just got to take that as gentleman's agreement that that's what they're doing. And there may be hearsay. If it's not hearsay, we'll have to address it at a later time.
And I think if they were to come out and there's substantial and fundamental environmental deficiencies in there, they're going to have a hard time, selling that to the public. And when it becomes, if and when it becomes public, I think their decision is going to take a little bit more introspection, put it that way.
Also, at our last meeting, it was brought out that you have two Trumbull County officials that have already written on the book that a sanitary engineer, Gary Newbrow, brought up that if the dam is taken out before the sewer lines are in, because they're not in yet, and we don't know for sure when it's going to happen. And then you have Trumbull County Engineer Randy Smith has a concern for the roads. And a lot of it, I think, was ramped
And the
up.
health commissioner. So you can add 3 people into that have
Okay.
made comments that it could be detrimental to health and safety of the public. But again, until the survey's done and we have all the facts, and then we put those facts together or those opinions together with the facts. Again, I just want to caution, we don't want to taint the process, and to be honest and pure to the public, let's let the process play out before we prejudge or try to taint the outcome.
My last point is there was a good article that Raymond Smith put in a paper about what happened down by New Philadelphia, and it wasn't good at all. And it was front page, and I thank you for doing that story. So I know that you're aware of that also, and it was the same two firms were involved with taking that dam out that are working on ours and looking at it. So that's a big concern for our residents, and just back here to bother you
Nope,
again.
I
I've
just
lived
caution
here for
you,
a while,
you know,
so-
us making comments about that or thing is no different or no better than a board member of the park board making comments of what they think is going to happen or prejudging. So let's just all step back a second and let's let the process play out as we promised each other.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kay.
you.
Anyone else from the room? And Commissioner, I don't mean to cut her short, I
No,
know,
no,
but
no.
we do have a previous engagement that I have to get
Yes.
to.
If hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Malloy.
Yes. Hey, Corey.